and welcome back to What's Happening Now, Nex-Tech's local events and attraction show. As you can see today, we're live on location. We're in Smith County at the Home on the Range cabin. And I have here with me Doug Armknecht. And Doug has made a really interesting project that's connected with this that we know you're going to want to hear about. And at the end of the show, you're going to get to see it and you're going to love it, so stay tuned. So Doug, thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us. So before we tell what you did, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I'm actually a cartographer by trade. I make maps, but as a hobby, I've gotten into making videos the last few years. And my main videos concentrate on agriculture, and I have the LaRoche harvest videos, they're called. My in-laws are the LaRoches, and I've made wheat harvest videos. And those have garnered over 1 million views worldwide. And so, yeah, that's a little bit about myself, how I got into video. Now, as far as this particular video goes, I was approached about a year and a half ago by Geraldine Wilson and Donna Devlin here with the city and county of Smith Center and Smith County. And they were interested in making a video, getting a video made that promoted Smith County and kind of its attractions and its natural beauty too. So that's kind of how it got started.
Well, I've had the pleasure of seeing the video. I've seen also your LaRoche harvest video, which when you say you kind of make videos, I mean, it's a piece of art. It makes me want to go farm. And then I remember that it's really not that beautiful and fun to farm, but you did it 4 years it took you to make this. Is that right? Or close to that, the
harvest videos, I've been making them for 4 years. This will be the 5th year. So,
and,
yes.
And so the next project, like you said, that we're getting ready to talk about, the Smith County one, tell us a little bit about how you put this movie together.
Okay, yeah, after I talked to Geraldine and Donna, I just went out and started filming. So I took the equipment that I had and would just go out to some of the attractions and film them. And what I found out is that even though Smith County is really pretty small, I mean, most counties in Kansas are fairly small, you would think, but there's actually 900 square miles here. And there's a lot of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of communities, there's a lot of just attractions, a lot of natural beauty. So there was a lot to do. I would keep this list of all these places I wanted to visit. I never did get to the end of the list, but I would just go out and start filming using ground-based cameras and also aerial cameras, so I could get some just some great views of everything. So yeah, that's kind of how it got started. Towards the end of filming, I had to put it all together. I was like, how on earth am I going to do this? I had to take, hours and hours of footage and whittle it down to about a 6-minute video. So what I did near the end was I interviewed several people in the community and had them just tell some about the history or the future or the present of Smith County. And so they kind of provide the voiceover for the video. So it was a lot of work to take all that and put it together in this 6-minute, really tightly edited piece. But I was happy with how it turned out, and I think the people in the community that talked on there and just the natural beauty just really made a great video out of it.
Well, I particularly loved, like you mentioned, and I think this is a way with probably every county in Kansas, there's so many things we all say there's nothing to do, there's nothing nicer, there's nothing pretty, and as you mentioned, you made a list and couldn't even get to all of them, but you covered so many places. Some that I had heard of and some I never had. Tell me what, for you, some of the unique discoveries were for you, even though you're familiar with this area.
Right, yeah, the big attractions in Smith County are the Home on the Range cabin, which is right here behind us, and also the center of the U.S. And then there's some smaller ones like the old Dutch Mill and the small Statue of Liberty, Little Miss Liberty. So those, of course, were neat to visit again. But I found a lot of, really neat places like this church in the middle of nowhere called Crystal Plains Church. It's a church and a cemetery, and I got some aerial shots of that, and it's just beautiful. You can see this church, little white church out in the middle of nowhere, and just plains and farms and fields as far as you can see. So there were so many, beautiful scenes that I was able to capture, but yeah, there's just so much in our little county.
Another thing that I really enjoy about your movies, I call them movies, the music is just fantastic. And I learned something a little bit earlier, but who helps you with your music selection?
My wife Kelly. She helps me out in a lot of different ways, but music is one way that she's able to pick good musical selections that really bring a lot of emotion to the film. So I'm very grateful for her.
Well, I had to make sure I gave her some props, and she's back there listening. I want to make sure you weren't in trouble when you went home. But The film is beautiful. I hope we can see a lot more projects of yours. For those that aren't, everybody's going to get to see the movie at the end of this show, but if they'd like to see the harvest video or some of your other work, what's the best way they can do that?
They can go onto YouTube, and probably the quickest way is just type in wheat harvest in YouTube, and you'll find the LaRoche harvest videos. Those are the most popular, and they come right to the top, LaRoche harvest. They also have, you can also go to my website. It's www.ksfarmimagery.com. But yeah, hopefully a lot of people can see this film, and others too. There's a lot of scenic beauty, not just here in Smith County, but all across Kansas, and I like to highlight that in my movies.
Wonderful. Well, you may be getting some calls from some other counties after they see this. But Doug, thank you so much for telling us about your project. We're going to take a break. We're going to learn a little bit more about the history of Smith County, and then finally, what you've been waiting for, you'll get to see the film.
Make a difficult choice an easy one with Cedar View Assisted Living's knowledgeable and caring staff. Your loved one will be professionally taken care of as they transition into their new community. With movies, holiday parties, planned exercises, and games, residents will have opportunities every day to enjoy their time at Cedar View. Multiple room styles are available, ensuring a just right fit for your loved one. Come see Cedar View Assisted Living for yourself next to Sternberg Museum. The care you need, the home you want.
Here come the men in black trucks for all your home needs.
If you need repairs or a professional to check your home for damage, call the local guys you know and trust at AquaShield Roofing and Construction. Their 5-year warranty will give you the peace of mind you need from a company that will be there to stand behind their work. Call AquaShield Roofing and Construction at 785-475-2533 or visit aquashieldroofing.com today.
The plumber said there's something wrong with my water. It looks like you have hard water. You need a water softener. Let me show you the options we have. Hey, do you guys deliver salt? We sure do. What about drinking water? We have water coolers and drinking water systems. We even have bottled water.
Find us on Facebook and itsbetterwater.com. And remember,
it's not just water, it's better water!
The easiest way for you to get anywhere in the country is the Hayes Regional Airport. Twice daily flights between Hayes and Denver means you are only 45 minutes from over 100 direct flights to get you to your destination as quick as possible. Service from SkyWest has completely changed the flight experience out of Hayes thanks to the 50-passenger jets that include complimentary beverages and an in-flight restroom. With free parking and short security lines, there has never been a better time to use the Hayes Regional Airport. The next time you travel, check Hayes first at flyhays.com to see the time and money you could save.
And we're back in the studio, and I've been sitting here visiting with Mary Lattin. And Mary is I would say a historian on Smith County. It's her hobby, but she has some amazing stories to share with you. And Mary, I have so many things that I have learned about Smith County through these interviews and the film, but you have a really amazing story about the history of some Indian wars in Smith County. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. It would be the fight at the forks of the Beaver Creek, and the year is 1853, and it's between the Pawnee, the Kickahocky Band of the Pawnee, and the Cheyenne Nation. And it kind of starts in 1851 when all the tribes go to Laramie, Fort Laramie, and some of them go on to Washington, D.C. And as they're going to Washington, D.C., the Pawnees stop them and ask them to be friends. They said that they probably wouldn't. They went on, and the following spring, in 1852, the Indians, the Pawnee Indians, were attacked by the Southern Cheyennes, and there was probably 10 to 15 Indians that attacked them, and one of those Indians was a Lights on a Cloud. He wore a suit of armor, and it was a suit that he had gotten from his father, who originally got it from the Spanish. So you could shoot a small bore gun at that suit and the bullet would just bounce off. But there was a little boy that, as a Lights on a Cloud was going up and down the creek, and he shot an arrow, and the arrow hit him in his eye. He was also wearing a helmet, and he died. So there was other Indians killed that morning, maybe 8 or so, and it stopped the whole raid, those killings, and then the Cheyennes went back to someplace south and west of Smith County, probably into Colorado. Then they had a big gathering that next winter, probably out on the Arickaree River. That would be the fork of the Republican River, and they decided that they were all going to move the whole Cheyenne Nation against the Pawnee that spring. Well, that winds up being 1853. It wound up being July, and I believe it's the 24th. This date shows up in a book that Louise Berry wrote on chronological order of history of Kansas. So the Cheyennes were coming, and as they were coming, one of their leaders, his name was Sky Chief, was headed up to the Republican River to trade some mules with the Potawatomi as a friendship gesture. And he saw the Cheyenne Nation coming, so he went on and grabbed up about 80 to 100, 120 Potawatomi warriors who knew how to shoot in relays with guns. They had gotten these guns in Iowa, and they used them for hunting, and they knew how to shoot in relays. So, 2 or 3 relays, and they could take care of a lot of shooting. So when he came back with those, they came and helped the Potawatomi, or the Kickahawk band of the Pawnee that were there in East Beaver Creek, and they turned the tide of this onslaught of all these Cheyennes that were shooting at them. There's a marker put up there, and from that marker, if you go about a half a mile northeast of there, you can see where the creek is real deep and the trees are really low in the water. And my Pawnee friend who helped me do the research, he said that they were holed up in a creek where the trees were so low you could hardly see them. So from the bridge on Highway 36, you can see this area where they were held up and where the battle happened. The marker is not at the battle. It's out in the area where the battle would happen, but the Pawnees were actually down in East Beaver Creek there in Smith County.
How fascinating it is to think that you can still go there to that exact place and the history that happened. And
yeah,
I would guess there's people that probably even would go down there and probably could even use metal detectors or
they've
still
tried
find
it
some
and,
remnants.
And they don't find anything, They found so many arrowheads up and down that creek, and knives and scrapers and things like that, and they were picked up years and years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so if there's any left, most of that area has been all plowed up into crops, and now a lot of it's in CRP, so you wouldn't find it, but who knows, you might get lucky.
So a person now that wants to go down, there's still trails and things that people can enjoy. Is that right? What kind of things could people do if they want to go kind of experience where this happened at?
Well,
is there any public land anymore in that area?
No, there isn't, but you can drive the roads. You can go to the Facebook of Smith County Historical Society, or get AFL. That's a Facebook that has a lot of history about the area, or you can look it up on the internet. You can Google 1853 Pawnee Cheyenne and their fight, and there's a lot of information on the Cheyenne tribe Facebook that tells about this fight. So anyway, I was helped by Theodore Morgan, who was a historian for the Pawnee Indian tribe, and I was also helped by Richard Gould, who's the director of the Pawnee Indian Village Museum over at Republic, Kansas. And that's something that everyone ought to stop and see and visit.
Well, thank you so much for just giving us a little slice of one of the many, many things that have happened in Smith County.
Sure, there's lots of history there.
We're going to take a break, and then when we come back, finally, you're going to get to see the amazing film that shows so many of the highlights and why you ought to take a visit down to the Smith Center or the county very soon.
Make moving and storing your home or business easy with Storage Solutions of Hayes and Victoria. With 2 facilities, they can store anything from antiques to automobiles and everything in between. Interior units for items needing special care. Drive-up units of all sizes, perfect for home or business. And outside storage for trucks, boats, and RVs. As an authorized U-Haul dealer, they have everything for your next move, across town or across the country. Storage Solutions of Hayes and Victoria, making moving and storing easy.
Hi.
We're looking for insurance.
Let's see who's free.
When insurance agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited. But a Trusted Choice independent agent is free to shop many companies for a better deal. Free to do what's right for you.
Let us shop for you. Contact Rogers & Associate to learn more.
When it comes to customer service, other carriers just can't compete. At Nex-Tech Wireless, we don't hire just anybody to assist our customers. We won't bounce your call around to 16 different supervisors, and we'll never tack on unexpected charges to your monthly bill. We'll even buy out your old contract for $650 so you no longer have to deal with second best. We train hard to win a gold medal in customer service. Nex-Tech Wireless, something different.
What a girl wants in her home kitchen. Ease of use, flexibility, fun, the latest kitchen design, Frigidaire Professional Real Stainless Steel for fewer finger smudges, a French door refrigerator, convection cooking, a quiet dishwasher. Have the staff at Genuine Appliance in Hayes demonstrate new Frigidaire Professional appliances to find what you want. Genuine Appliance at 1224 East 27th in Hayes. Everything a girl wants.
You know, some people think we're in the middle of nowhere, but we think we're in the center of it all.
I'm Geraldine Wilson. I'm a native of Smith County, and I am currently the director for Smith Center Economic Development.
As new residents in the community, we've been able to make friends, we've been able to become involved in activities in the community, and just really have been made to feel quite at home here. My name is Alan Vandriel, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer at Smith County Memorial Hospital.
We have some really great places to stay and great places to eat while you're here.
If you've ever stopped at Jiffy Burger, you will stop again. In Lebanon, if you want to know what the wheat prices are and what the rain forecast is, you're going to hear that at Ladow's. The Rusty Tractor in Kensington, wonderful fine dining.
There's been a lot of stories about Smith Center that you've never heard before. Well, my name is Ivan Burgess. I'm 91 years old. We had Indian tribes come through here on their way to the buffalo hunting grounds.
One of the largest Plains Indians battles took place here in 1853.
And you can look at that and imagine thousands and thousands of Indians going across the plains.
This is a land rich with history. In 1871, on the banks of the West Beaver Creek, Dr. Brewster Higley wrote a poem entitled My Western Home. It was then set to music and became the song we know as Home on the Range. Dr. Higley's cabin can still be seen today.
In 1935, we had a bank robbery. The First National Bank got robbed. Mack Hill was the president, and he was noted for talking with his hands, you know. And he came out of the bank with his hands in the air, and Dutch Detweiler was across the street, and he says, I wonder what kind of a wild tale these telling now. And he had a 45 in his back. That was why he had his hands in the air.
At the corner of Kansas and Main Street is a renovated bank building that currently serves as home to a couple different businesses.
I can't say enough how blessed I believe this community is to have the medical staff that they have here.
One of the great things on the horizon is the community of Smith County voted overwhelmingly to build a new hospital.
We did an advisory vote, and that demonstrated an 80% approval rating. I've never been in a community before that was as generous as this community is. We anticipate that this is going to spur additional growth.
A lot of kids, when they get out of high school, their first thought is, I'm going to get out of here. They go to school or they go on to find careers, and as they get a little older, and especially if they decide to have a family, Smith County starts looking pretty good again.
There seems to be a growing number of young families here, which is a very positive thing looking to the future.
In Smith County, you're not going to find huge amusement parks, you're not going to find professional sports, but you're going to find Friday nights at the football game and the stands are full. And you'll find when you stop to get gas, people smile and say hello, and they mean it. And at night, drive out on a country road and just stop and look at the open sky. It's amazingly beautiful.
Well, it's a great place to live.